for your, invigorating speech on the importance of CSR in the field of technology and how CSR as a means can actually improve, because when everything has a version 1, version 2, iPhone has a version 15, so everything must actually, Honorable Minister also in the last session told about improving fund allocation to different sectors in an equitable manner. That is also one of the points that we thought that is important. With amidst us we have Mr. Dalmia, Swati Munjalji, Navinji, and all the important people sitting in this room. This is a very important, I must say, event, because CSRBOX has actually collaborated with all the partners and is telling people through that blue book in a very transparent manner as to how this CSR fund is being managed and where and how and in how much this CSR fund is being utilized. So then only we, Honorable Minister was able to say that the funds are going to education and sports should also be a part of it. So for that transparent manner in which the funds are being utilized, I congratulate CSRBOX for that excellent work. Friends, I am being told to speak on the role of technical education in driving innovation and shaping the future of industries and societies. As Mr. Navin was speaking on CSR 4.0, I'll speak on Industry 4.0. What Industry 4.0 means. Friends, today we are passing through a very, very revolutionary phase of technological transition without being felt by it. The kind of data security, the kind of data analytics, the kind of artificial intelligence which is actually taking everything forward is changing the landscape, the entire landscape, the entire navigation system of the societies of education. I must tell you, give you the example of PM Gati Shakti. PM Gati Shakti is a portal in which all the central ministries, all the 37 central ministries data is kept, and in that all the ministries can actually work as one government. It is a whole of government approach. In that, in fact, when anybody prepares a project in the country, then he has to go through that portal to understand whether there are utilities underneath, whether there are some things to be taken care of, whether there are wildlife sanctuaries, whether there are forests, whether any other things has to be taken note of. And in addition to that, there are also multimodality. For example, if there is a road and there is a rail, how we can actually synergize all the means, all the ministries together to work in a particular direction. So PM Gati Shakti is an extraordinary example of how technology can be leveraged for us. You see, all of you are having that mobile, and in that mobile only a very 1 inch by 1 inch, that chip actually matters the most. That is the thing which is actually moving your mobiles forward. If you see technology, for example, electric vehicles, the kind of electric vehicles and the charging stations which is actually, I came today in the morning, I was coming from the airport and I could see all the very luxury companies are actually showing their watches and how these watches, but I was thinking and smiling at myself that the landscape is changing very, very fast. And people are not worried about flashing their watches, but people are worried about their own health. And that is why people are liking to wear smart watches rather than luxury watches. So technology is now the way it is moving. I must tell you, the kind of autos, for example, a very rudimentary example I'll give in the cities. In the cities there are autos which run on CNG, diesel and all other fuels. If you change the landscape to electric vehicles, all the autos of different cities, then what will be the improvement in air quality and the quality of living of people? That will be phenomenal. So I think two things which will change the entire landscape of the future. One is the technology and second is the climate change. And climate change is one thing which is actually shaping the future. Whether you see how we, the mobility or our utilization of energy, it is changing very, very fast. I'll give you an example. You see, solar technology till today, people are to give their solar energy, whatever energy you take, that power you give to the discoms. Now the innovation is that why to waste so much of energy for transferring to the discoms and getting it back. Now we can give your energy. Suppose I have the solar panel, I can give my energy to Mr. Mahendra. And these peer-to-peer exchanges of energy is possible in this kind of frame. I'll also tell you, most of the people know about Chandrayaan. Chandrayaan success is, Chandrayaan 3 success is something that everybody knows. But the kind of work that ISRO is doing by technology, where flash, floods will be coming through cloudburst, that they can predict before 48 hours. You see, and what kind of radiation you will get from different zonal panels, that also can be received from their solar radiation map. So extraordinary knowledge and resources we have in this country. But the challenge and how CSR can help it. When I speak, the challenge is how CSR can be a fit into this. How many testing centers are there for drone technology in India? How many testing centers are there for robotics? How many testing centers are there for hydrogen technology? We all speak of green technology and green hydrogen. How many testing centers are there? I think when I ask these questions, you must be thinking, you may not be finding answers to actually answer. Because the kind of system that we are living is, the entire education system needs to be overhauled. In fact, CSR can play a very, very vital role here by setting up research and innovation centers, by setting up centers of excellence. Research and development center, if you see the kind of research and development centers we need, it is not there. Industries we have, but if these industries will sustain in a competitive world, they have to grow by continuous research and continuous innovation. And that is possible only when we have research and development centers. And I will appeal to the industry to have more and more research and development centers in different universities, or for example like Swati Munjalji have their own educational institutions. There also they can develop centers of excellence for new technologies. How many centers of excellences are there for physical systems? How many centers of excellences are there for drone technology? How many centers of excellence are there for robotics? How many centers of excellence are there for artificial intelligence? How many centers of excellence are there for data security and analytics? We don't have many. A country of 141 crore people, and we are striving and struggling to find out names. So that speaks that where our CSR funds must go. I must appeal to industry people that the kind of, cheap, for example, mobiles. Everybody has one or two mobiles. But how many semiconductor testing centers are there? How many IITs have training sessions on semiconductor? How many IITs or Indian Institutes of Sciences have design centers to design a product? You see, when we speak that India is a country of youth, where more than 52% of our population above the age of 25 lives here in this country, then we must prepare ourselves for the youth. No doubt we must spend in sports to make them capable, to make them fit, but also we must concentrate and spend on technology. We must tell them where the world is going. I'll give you an example of IIT Madras. In IIT Madras, one fellow called Mr. Balaji of Venatan, he has founded a company called Venatan. But that same Mr. Balaji, when he was studying, he was very less amount of funds when he was studying. He went to US and he was staying in a very small room and he was struggling. And he, while studying, he got 4 or 5 of his friends and established a company. And that company's name is Venatan. And that company is now preparing itself to have the chip which will actually give competition to the best chip maker of the world. This is our Indian talent. We have talent. We have brilliant talent. You go to IITs, you go to IIMs, you go to NITs. We have talent everywhere. All of the people who are sitting here in this room are all talented. But the issue is we must have things to learn. It is no more that old educational system where the syllabus is set 50 years ago, where in the electrical engineering, electrical vehicle thing is absent and the syllabus is still going on. So we must think fresh and we must think in a manner which will be very true to the occasion. And I will appeal to the CSR community, industry community, to spend more on research and development, to spend more on innovation centers. I will end my speech by giving one example of Student Startup Innovation Fund of Gujarat government. I represent Gujarat government. Student Startup Innovation Fund is one policy where government of Gujarat even is giving funds to people, students who are dropouts. We don't mind whether a student is a dropout or not. But if a student has the capability to develop a product or a system, then we give him funds. We have a pipeline from all the educational institutions. We have set up, student startup centers. And in those student startup centers, we encourage our students to, think, ideate. And if they have a good idea and if they want to actually work on that idea to have a product, if they want to go for patenting, getting their patent, if they want to go for prototyping, if they want to go for commercialization of their product, develop a product and then commercialization, we give support. And iHub is doing that. That kind of a support system is required in all the colleges and universities of India. Student startup, Honorable Prime Minister has appealed for a startup and Stand Up India, and in that startup culture, when everybody can flourish and bloom, then I think India will be a developed country by 2047. So what we need in this country is a developed country by 2047. With that vision, with that kind of ambition, we must work together because we are all working towards that goal, and CSRBOX is helping us to achieve that goal. I think I must congratulate CSRBOX and all of you to work for that. Thank you very much.